Okay, kids, this is Rick from Twilight Computing. What we're looking at is we're looking at a laptop. This is a portion that comes and connects to the main circuitry. Well, I took this wire off because we don't need it for right now. But anyway, this here is a laptop screen, and they will usually charge you close to $200 to replace it usually. The only reason I replaced this one was, believe it or not, was the whole outside bezel was broken and the keys were missing, and it really was not worth repairing because the repair would have easily went more than the value of the laptop. But I thought, since it's broken and it's useless, I thought, well, maybe I'd use it to learn a little bit about laptops and how they're taken apart and put together. Reuse technology. So there's some numbers out there which, if I was smart, I would have taken a magic marker and wrote like what brand name it was. So I honestly don't remember whether it came off of an HP or whatever. I don't remember. And then at the top somewhere, you really can't even see it anymore. Or you can, but I don't see it. But there's a little connector where the Wi-Fi will plug into, unless it plugs into. Nope, this part is for the, definitely that plugs into the main assembly. And then there is another wire that connects up for your Wi-Fi antenna. In fact, now I remember, it connects here, then it goes through here, through the bezel, and then it connects into the main board, and that's how you get your Wi-Fi antenna. So your Wi-Fi antenna is typically located on the top of your laptop screen. The reason they do that is because typically your laptop screen is pointing and they want the antenna as high as possible. But anyway, since I really can't reuse this because I was dumb enough not to write down the model number, plus, to be honest, screen repair is something that laptop guys, while they could fix laptop issues, I just got done fixing a laptop for somebody. It was all software related. If it needs a new hard drive, those are a piece of cake to pull out. No problem. You need memory replacement? No problem. Screen replacements, or the bezel that goes around here, starts getting to be a problem. And the only time I did a real repair was because the person, she ordered the bezel or the screen. I think it was, yeah, she had a broken hinge, and I was able to fix the darn thing without taking the whole darn thing apart. And she told me, I know that the bezel is broken. I really don't care about that because I couldn't find one, but I found the whole mounting assembly. It didn't include the front bezel, just the back plate. And she goes, just do what you can with the front bezel and get the hinge going so I could use it like a normal laptop. So you could open it up, it'll stay open, and do whatever. But anyway, so here we are now with this seemingly useless laptop. Well, believe it or not, I found a very useful way to repurpose it. Alright, now you might not believe me, but first of all, it's going to involve a napkin. Okay, so I have my napkin. Now, notice the placement of the napkin. Now, it's going to involve a fork. Yes, you heard me correct. Fork. I'm putting the fork right there. So this way, it could hold the napkin down. Why, may you ask, am I doing this? Well, first of all, as you know, I am completely insane. Now, this involves something you haven't seen in a while. Tang. Okay? The tang will come into play in a second. So let me get the tang out of the way. Now, what we do is we're going to put this tablet screen in front of this device that emits radio waves at 2.54 gigahertz, which coincides with the same frequency output as a router. So anyway, what this device is magically known as is a microwave oven, and I believe they were commercially available in 1954 for $4,000. Well, anyway, so we press the eject button, and I'll move that out of the way for right now. And we have here a pot pie. Well, these darn things get too hot to eat on your lap. So let me just push this out of the way. Let me put this fork back. Now I carry this over to my computer workstation, which is probably, bigger and stronger than NASA. Like, see, there's my TV, my 46-inch TV set. Sorry about the mess, but it's powered by a computer back there in the corner. There's my wireless printer. And then here I have my 3 computers. And there's one. This, by the way, has a fairly big native screen. I believe it's a 15-inch, but it's only an i3. Ow! It looks nice, but believe it or not, i3s are painfully slow to a computer guy like me. So now here we have an i5 computer, and it's really an all-in-one. And it has a wireless keyboard, and I rigged up my own little concoctions because I do stuff like that. I make my own little inventions, and so I could use my mouse right there, or sometimes I feel more comfortable using my mouse right there, even though I'm working on that computer. So anyway, and then over here, oh kitty, here we're looking at like a 25-inch. Believe it or not, this is actually a touch screen Android, but I don't use it as a touchscreen Android because guess what? Android apps, if you think they suck on tablets, which by the way, you see I have an Android tablet and it looks all funkified because I have to use, let me put my phone on for 2 seconds. Or maybe more than 2 seconds. But I have to use my Android with my Bluetooth keyboard because when you try to type with your fingers, it's a Samsung Galaxy Tab. It sucks. I finally got to the point of using my Bluetooth keyboard because then I make less mistakes. And to be honest, a lot of the applications on even this plain old suck. So, basically, applications that don't suck in general are like, remember this old guy, this old Droid. Yes, I owned one with a pop-out keyboard. And this pop-out keyboard sucks because the keys, while having the keys are nice, they don't pop up a little bit. So when you change letters, you can't tell that you're changing letters, and it's hard to tell what letter you depress. So you're better off just using the on-screen numbering. And to be honest, though, for the time, this was a decent phone. So no major complaints, other than I was on a certain phone company, and I won't mention the company because the guy is my friend, and so I don't want to badmouth his company. And then, so he got me on that phone, and then he got me on this phone, which I'm selling, by the way, in case anybody wants. It's in real good condition because I have like a dual layer case on it, and the battery still works. The phone's a decent phone. It's like a 5 megapixel phone, and you know, it takes pretty good pictures for my 5 megapixels, and it's fairly solid, and it's pretty good at running all the applications. And one very cool thing about it, somewhere, and I think it might be, yeah, I forgot exactly where, but this thing actually has, it might be that little hole on top. Well, there's your standard 3 connector plug for your headphone / microphone, and then this one here, I believe, is your infrared. So you could actually use this to control your TV set, and so it's a very, very, very cool item. This phone is very cool, and even after all these years, it's been off. The battery life isn't great, and I was trying to film a really long movie last night from some idiot, which maybe I'll put on YouTube. But anyway, really the main point of this whole phone call is, you know, about repurposing technology. You know, like I was trying to repurpose this Bluetooth keyboard, you know, because it actually has very decent action, and instead of using my laptop keyboard, I use this HP, which, by the way, is I took the plunge and upgraded to Windows 10. Well, anyway, I like to use this alternate keyboard because when I'm not eating my pot pies on my high-tech tray or anti-lap burner, because believe it or not, these things get really, really hot. Because the way I cook them is 3 minutes, you wait a couple minutes, and then do another 3 minutes to make sure that they're fully cooked inside. Oh, and by the way, this screen that you're seeing, even though it's an Android device, I am not using it for Android. It has an 8. Oh, by the way, that's Alcatraz. But anyway, that's not Alcatraz. Anyway, it has an HDMI connector, which then goes into this laptop here that I usually either leave it open or I close it, and notice it's upside down. I do that so the ventilation is not blocked and the thing doesn't overheat. And then see right there, this is my permanently connected 1 terabyte hard drive. And then what I do is, I am super paranoid, is this is a 2 terabyte hard drive, and I will occasionally, first of all, I will occasionally back up my computers onto the 1 terabyte because first of all, this screen is part of that computer. So, but I back up this computer onto the 1 terabyte, all the important stuff, and then I'll take this computer and I actually networked it to this 1 terabyte hard drive on that computer, and then finally I did the same on this computer. So now it backs up to there, to the silver 1 terabyte, and then once in a while I will back it up to the 2 terabyte. So so I have plenty of backups. So theoretically, if I were to lose any one of my computers or any one of my backups, I wouldn't be crying because I wouldn't have lost that much stuff. Except maybe that one picture that girl sent me last night on accident. You know, ladies, you shouldn't text at night, you know. That's all I'm trying to tell you. But okay, I'm lying about that part. But anyway, no, seriously, do your backups. Don't be afraid to be creative. You know, for my ergonomics, this thing pops out so I could get to that keyboard better. And it's at a nice height. Right here, I have a lamp, so when I'm at night, I could actually be typing away and see my keyboards without using any overhead lights, and have the evil woman in that room see the lights from this room reflecting into the room that way. So don't be afraid to be creative. So here I have 3 computers, and they are all fairly ergonomically set up. So see, I could use my mouse here depending on my mood, or depending on my mood I can move the middle mouse here, and or sometimes, same with this computer, is I could take this mouse and put it on this mouse pad, and I have it taped down so this way I get enough extrusion so I have plenty of room to manipulate the mice as needed. And sometimes, depending on, oops, I'll just use the other mouse. Sometimes I'll put 2 mice on there. And then I have my very, very, very important TV remote control. And this is a really cool TV remote control. If you haven't seen them, see, it actually, it's hard to see, but you can see the mouse wiggling around. And then it could pull up, you know, like it could pull up your menus and things like that, because it is actually connected to my computer, and sometimes it acts a little funky, and it's not a big deal because I actually have another very cool remote. It's a Logitech 550, and I must have hit a channel button on accident, so I'm just going to hit mute. And sometimes the way these things are set up, it's easier just to get a shotgun and just shoot the TV set. No, but right now, rather than mess around, I'm just gonna change the input, because that's what happened, and then I'll be done with this phone call essentially. But basically, there's my post scale for selling stuff on eBay, and it says no channel detected, and that's because, that's weird. I must have hit a weird channel. Not a big deal. So basically, all I gotta do is go to my remote. Which now I can't find because I have that much Alzheimer's. And I just go to my menu, if that works, and then just call up, like, see, I watch stuff like 2020, 60 Minutes, Ancient Aliens. You know, some of them are cool, except for like the rapists, okay, you know, but some of them, you know, there are some good Ancient Aliens, but, you know, the rapist ones, are not so good. So, but I watched The Blacklist, Comedy Unleashed, Forensic Files, gotta watch Judge Judy. I don't watch Wapner. Last Comic Standing, CSI. I record Cyber Elementary, but I really haven't really gotten into the show. I think I only made it through one, but I don't know why I recorded. But Masters of Illusion is a very cool show. This is a cool show, Penn and Teller, Fool Us, where you basically win a prize if you actually fool them. I found the mute. Haha. Significant Mother is kind of interesting, more for like a teenager or a bored housewife or a bored teenager. Whose Line Is It Anyway? That one helps you think on your feet. If you are self-employed, I urge that you watch Shark Tank and see. If you watch PBS NewsHour, it's amazing. From watching international news, you will actually learn a lot more about news, about the world, than you will by watching U.S. TV. So, like first of all, I lambaste Fox News all the time, but I will give them some credit, just so people think that I'm not totally partial, is their local news is actually quite accurate in Phoenix. However, it's hard to screw up local news. But once they start editorializing, with their cable news and all that, oh man, I mean, they would make pretty good target practice if you were into that sort of thing. I mean, it'd be cool at least one time. The reason I say one time is you'd probably be busted after that. So I don't condone that behavior. But anyway, so there you have it. I got this TV, and to be honest, I kind of wade through the mess back here, and a little hard to see. But see, it's connected to, I have a wireless mouse, a wireless keyboard as well. I have one headphone connector that plugs into the TV with a Y splitter, and then the Y splitter comes out here, and at night I can put on headphones and watch TV without disturbing the evil woman in that room. So anyway, I'm gonna go to eat my cyber lunch. So a cyber lunch is basically a pot pie served on a laptop screen that, by the way, probably only costs maybe $20-$30 to manufacture at this point in time, but they're going to charge you $100 or more plus another $100 or more to install it. And unless you specialize in that thing, in that people like me typically are not going to touch it because we don't specialize in it. And my eyesight is getting such that it's not worth it to me. And also, people will yell at you because you're not going to have screens for every single laptop that's out there, and so they're going to yell at you saying, my computer's been down for 3 weeks. It's your fault that you don't carry every single screen in stock. I mean, there's one type of screen, there's another type of screen, there's another type of screen. This is an all-in-one, which by the way, I got a super cool deal on it. I gave the guy a discount because he really didn't want this one fixed. It did have a physically bad hard drive, but it would need a new hard drive. But he he just seemed really interested in buying a new computer. So I'm like, okay. And I said, well, first of all, I still do charge an estimate because I had to take it apart on top of it, figure out what was going on and see if I could fix it or not. And I figured it out to be a bad hard drive. And he's like, well, about how much is it going to be? And I said it's going to be about $200. And he's like, screw it. I'll just buy a new computer. I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. So I think that's all I did was I got his data off of it, and we either put it on his new computer or on a memory stick. No, I couldn't even get the data off because it was that broken. But he didn't care. He said it didn't have that much data. And anyway, I told him the estimate to take it apart was going to be X amount of dollars, and I don't talk about money in public. Well, anyway, I said to him, well, what do you plan on doing with it? And he was probably like, I don't know, I'm probably just going to throw it away. And what I said to him was, I'll knock off half the price of the estimate if you give it to me. And he's like, okay, well, at least I'll get something out of it. And man, it wasn't, for me, it wasn't really that much of a pain to reload, rebuild. It's now the $6 billion computer. No, it actually is a very nice computer. And believe it or not, on top of being a touch screen, on top of being a regular computer, it's a touch screen. So you could do all this. Oops, I never used Cortana, because then it'll pull up like crap like OJ. Who wants to see him? And I guess somebody's been cited for hit and run. It doesn't even say. I'm just curious now who that guy is. But you notice I didn't even grab the mouse, which comes in handy. And here's another thing that comes in handy. If you ever need it, I'll tell you how to do it. David Cassidy? Oh, no. Remember when he looked so young? Well, anyway, for the techies out there, if you ever need what's called the God mode, it is a way to... Come on. Sometimes this computer... I swear, it seems like a lot of computers acting slow. Even mine, which kind of weirds me out. But this God mode, it shows you all the stuff that's going on in your computer in one simple screen. And I believe my coordination's off because I have to look at the phone and all that. Okay, but you could sit there, and if you find a scroll bar, being that it's a touch screen, you could go up and down, and you could look at all the different options available, and you could change the settings all from one place. And that's why they call it the God mode. So, so basically, if you are a staunch Christian, I should say, then, you should not buy this computer because it allows you to get into the God's mode. And I forget exactly, what commandment it is, but one of the commandments basically says, I am the only God before you. And so basically, if you buy a computer that has a God mode, then you have to really sit there and question your, how much of a Christian you really are. So, I hate to break that news to you, but, on a technical basis, I noticed stuff like that because I was raised in a seminary. And so it's kind of fun when people try to have theological discussions with me. I used to have fun with priests, like one of my favorite stories was, do I believe Jesus was a man? The answer is yes. Now, about the miracle at the mountain where he created all those fish, He didn't create all those fish. What he did was everybody carried around their own fish, and a lot of people were starving. And the true miracle that happened is he got people to share their fish with other people, and that's how he fed the thousands of people, because some people probably had enough fish for 2, 3, 4, 5 days or whatever on their belongings, whereas other people were so poor they had no fish. So really, to me, the miracle was that he got people to share the fish. And anyway, I swear, I made this priest's hair, his name was Father Moffat, I made his hair turn even whiter, and because he never thought of that as a possibility. And see, now using my creative little things, I could use my high-tech tray and my mouse pad and use that, and then again, since I'm doing everything high-tech, I'm using Tang just like the astronauts for my vitamin C. So anyway, so this is just another wacky day, and just in case you didn't know, these things are called tines. So